You feel that there is something different in the air. A shift that doesn't come from the external world, but from within you. It's as if a new vibration is silently calling you to leave repetition behind and enter a new era. And this call, though subtle, is clear to those with spiritual ears. The chosen ones are awakening. The fifth dimension is not a physical destination. It is a rise in consciousness. It's when your soul begins to reject everything that is superficial and seeks what is true, pure, light. You begin to notice that you can no longer fit into empty places or maintain soulless conversations. This is not confusion. It is alignment with who you truly are. Many still live as if nothing is happening, but the chosen, they feel it. They feel that the cycle has changed. They feel that time has accelerated. They feel that the moment has come to leave behind what no longer vibrates with the new frequency. And even if they don't fully understand it rationally, they know deep inside that they are being called to something greater, something eternal. This crossing is personal, silent, and inevitable. It doesn't depend on others' approval, nor on grand signs. The portal has already begun to open within you, and those who are attentive, those who have been prepared in secret, are ready to depart, because the new era has already begun, and the chosen were molded to recognize it, even without words, even without applause. If you feel that this message is for you, then know this: you are not alone. I am George, and I'm here to walk with you on this journey. Follow the channel to keep receiving these messages that strengthen your faith and remind you of your purpose. The journey is just beginning. Welcome to the new earth. The time of crossing has come, awakening to a greater calling. You feel that something has changed, even though no one has said anything. The world keeps turning. People remain busy with their tasks, but inside you, something is no longer the same. It's as if a cycle is closing, and at the same time, a new reality is beginning to reveal itself. Subtle, silent, yet unmistakable. If you are feeling this, perhaps it's because the time of crossing has arrived. And this crossing is not physical. It is spiritual. We are living in a time where the veil between the visible and the invisible is becoming thinner. The fifth dimension is not a place. It is a state of consciousness. It's like seeing with new eyes, feeling with new depth, living with a new purpose. And not everyone is ready for this. But the chosen are being called. Maybe you've been feeling more tired, more introspective, more selective. Maybe environments that once made you feel good now leave you drained. Conversations that once seemed normal now sound empty. Relationships that were once important no longer make sense. It's not coldness. It's a sign that your spirit is aligning with something new, with something that is already vibrating beyond what the ordinary world can offer. This is the beginning of the journey toward the fifth dimension, when the heart realizes it can no longer live halfway. Now, the calling intensifies. The new earth, this new state of existence that is more conscious, lighter, more connected to God, is not a place you reach by running. It's something you access when you are willing to leave behind everything that can no longer walk with you. But this portal is invisible. It does not open for those who run without direction. It reveals itself to those who walk with awareness. It recognizes those who have undergone inner transformation, those who obeyed even when they were alone, those who said yes, even without knowing all the details. It is for them that the new begins to appear. The crossing doesn't require perfection, but it does require surrender. You don't need to understand everything. You don't need to be flawless, but you do need to be willing to let go of what no longer vibrates with your truth. because you can't live a new time with the structures of the old time. 2026 will not be just another year on the calendar. For the awakened, it will be the point at which life begins to be led by purpose, not obligation, by alignment, not habit, by real faith, not spiritual appearance. And those who feel this will know the portal has already begun to open. But pay attention. This opening is internal. It is silent. It does not come with euphoria, but with clarity. The chosen will know it is time to let go of the old, not with resentment, but with gratitude, because everything that has passed, even the difficult things, served to shape who you are now. But now, it is time to move on. And you? Are you feeling this calling? Are you sensing that you can no longer stay where you are? Are you hearing deep in your soul that the time to cross has come? If so, you are not alone. Other chosen ones are awakening too, and together, even from afar, we form an invisible network of light, faith, and truth. In the next part, we'll talk about what needs to be left behind before crossing the portal. Because yes, there is a necessary farewell, and it's not easy, but it is liberating. The baggage that can't cross. The farewell that precedes the new. The crossing into the fifth dimension does not begin when something new appears. It begins when you realize that certain things can no longer continue. This is one of the most delicate moments in the chosen one's journey, the time of farewell. And it's not just about leaving behind people or places, but releasing everything that no longer has life within you. There are habits, thoughts, beliefs, emotional patterns, and even old dreams that have already served their purpose. And to keep insisting on them now would be like carrying a suitcase full of stones into a place where only the essential can enter. The fifth dimension vibrates with lightness, truth, coherence. There is no longer room for what drains, what pretends, what blocks. And that's why the calling becomes so clear. It's time to let go. Letting go may feel like loss, but for those who are awakened, letting go is respect. It's saying, I honor what was, but it no longer fits where I'm going. And that applies to relationships that no longer walk at the same frequency. It applies to cycles that repeat without meaning. It applies to old versions of yourself, which were useful in times of survival, but now limit your expansion. The portal to the new earth does not open with force. It opens with lightness. And lightness is not the absence of pain. It is the choice not to cling to what no longer feeds your soul. Maybe you're at this point now. Maybe you're feeling the weight of all that you're still trying to carry. Maybe you feel you're running out of strength to maintain structures that no longer hold. This is not weakness. This is a sign that the time of crossing has come. The problem is that many want to cross the portal carrying baggage that God has already asked them to release. And then, the portal seems like it's not opening, but it's there. What needs to happen is for you to be ready to let go of what is blocking your movement. The transition to the fifth dimension is first and foremost an emptying. You'll begin to notice that your life starts to align differently. What used to be urgent no longer is. What used to be necessary loses its importance. What you used to tolerate now deeply bothers you. These signs are the voice of the Spirit saying, it's time to go. In the next part, we'll talk about the inner signs of the crossing. How to recognize that you're no longer in the same place as before, even if everything around you looks the same. Inner signs of the crossing. When the world is still the same, but you no longer are. One of the most challenging moments of spiritual awakening is when nothing on the outside has changed. But inside, everything is different. You're still in the same places, with the same people, perhaps even with the same commitments. But something within you has already crossed over. This is the first clear sign that you are in the crossing. It's as if the old world has lost its color. Conversations no longer hold your attention. Habits no longer make sense. Environments that once energized you now leave you tired. And you find yourself asking, what is happening to me? What's happening is simple and profound. You are awakening to a new frequency. The transition to the fifth dimension does not begin with a change of scenery. It begins with a change in perception. What once felt normal now feels superficial. What once brought pleasure now feels empty. What once made sense now feels heavy. And this doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It means something is right. In this time, you may even seem distant, but inside, you are closer to yourself than ever before. That's why many chosen ones enter a silent phase. It's as if they've stepped off stage for a while, not because they gave up on life, but because they are returning to it from a different place, more truthful, more mature, more free. Another sign of this crossing is sensitivity. You begin to notice more clearly what you once tolerated. The energy of people, the intention behind words, the vibration of each environment. It all becomes obvious. And with this perception comes the question, is it worth staying here? In the fifth dimension, consciousness invites you to respect your limits, to no longer sacrifice your peace just to please, to no longer remain where your spirit no longer resides. And that doesn't make you better than anyone. It makes you more faithful to who you really are. You begin to realize that being at peace is worth more than being included, that being whole is worth more than being accepted, that walking alone for a while is better than walking disconnected from yourself. These are the signs. And if you're living this, know this, you've already started to cross. Even if you're still in the same places, you're already in a different vibration. And it's this vibration that soon will change everything around you. The silent letting go, when the heart learns to release without guilt. The crossing to the new earth does not happen with grand events. It unfolds in small daily decisions, in choices only the heart perceives, in detachments no one else sees. And one of the greatest signs that you're crossing is when letting go becomes natural. At the beginning of the spiritual journey, everything feels like a battle. Internal battles, external conflicts, efforts to hold up what God has already asked you to release. But there comes a moment when the chosen one no longer fights to hold on to what is falling. They simply let go, not out of coldness, but out of discernment. The matured heart understands. Not everything that was good can continue. Not everything that was necessary needs to remain. The answer is, you are not losing yourself. You are aligning. Letting go of what once made sense is recognizing that you have evolved, and that now other paths will open. This is one of the greatest lessons of the fifth dimension. You don't need to carry everything in order to keep walking. In fact, the lighter you are, the clearer the path becomes. Emotional baggage, forced relationships, empty commitments, all of it drains your energy. And to cross the portal, you need clean energy, aligned energy. That's why the process of spiritual transition involves so many losses. But they're not true losses. They're liberations disguised as farewells. It's in this place that the chosen one learns to distinguish presence from attachment, to love without clinging, to walk with others without depending on them, to serve without self-erasure. This emotional maturity is one of the greatest signs that you are ready for the new time. And with time, you realize life is not punishing you, it's preparing you. God is not taking things away to weaken you. He's making space for what truly nourishes you. Silence becomes an ally. You speak less, listen more, react less, feel more, decide calmly, walk with awareness, and what once hurt you now simply teaches you. This is true detachment. It's not becoming cold, but choosing peace. And if today you feel that you are in the midst of this process, letting go, stepping away, saying goodbye, know that you are not regressing. You are maturing. And the fifth dimension begins exactly there, when you let go of the noise to live with more truth. The silent crossing, when the new begins within. Most people believe that important changes arrive with noise, movement, and grand revelations. But the chosen know, the greatest transition happens in silence, without announcement, without audience, without warning. The crossing to the new earth will not be marked by a date on the calendar, nor by a visible event. It begins within. It begins when the heart realizes it no longer fits where it once felt comfortable. It feels strange at first. You find yourself in familiar places, with beloved people, doing what you've always done. But something feels off. A light, yet constant discomfort. And then you understand. The place hasn't changed. You have. The portal to the new earth doesn't require physical effort. It requires spiritual maturity. You don't cross it in a hurry. The crossing happens when you stop fighting to become who you once were. When you stop insisting on maintaining what no longer makes sense. When you allow yourself to step off the stage without resentment. It's an internal decision. I will no longer deny what my spirit has already understood. You realize you can no longer fake interest. You can no longer smile out of politeness when something hurts you. You can no longer stay where your soul is begging you to leave. And that hurts. Because saying no to what's comfortable takes courage. But that pain is also a sign. It means you're moving forward. That you're saying yes to who you truly are. The crossing is not made of beautiful words. It is made of daily choices. Choosing not to react. Choosing not to justify yourself. Choosing silence. Choosing to leave in peace, even without explanation. You begin to understand that the new earth is not a place. It is a state of lightness, a state of truth, a state of connection to what really matters. And in that place, you no longer need to carry unnecessary weight, nor prove anything to anyone, nor force yourself to fit, nor fight against the flow. The chosen one doesn't cross the portal to be accepted. They cross because they've already been transformed. They understand that continuing to try to fit where God has already taken them from is disrespectful to their own process. And even if no one notices your change, you feel it. Anxiety no longer controls you as before. Fear has lost its power. The need for acceptance has become a distant echo. You know something new has begun. The new posture. Living aligned, even in the midst of chaos. After the silent crossing, the chosen enter a new time. Not a perfect time without challenges, but a time where everything makes more sense. A time where peace no longer depends on external circumstances, but on internal coherence. The great change doesn't happen outside. The new earth begins when the chosen one changes the way they position themselves in life. They no longer react as before. They no longer respond to pleas. They no longer insist on relationships that drain their energy. They have understood. It is no longer possible to lose themselves just to maintain others' comfort. The chosen now live aligned with the Spirit. They feel when something is out of tune, and more than just feeling it, they respect it. They no longer justify what hurts them. They walk away with love. They fall silent with wisdom. They remain with firmness. The new posture is lighter, but also firmer. It is light because it no longer seeks to please. It is firm because it doesn't negotiate what is true. And so, the path becomes clearer. Even if the world around remains noisy, the chosen one lives with sobriety, and what leave is honored in its leaving. The new earth requires this new posture, to live with lightness, but with awareness, to speak little, but with truth, to do less, but with intention, to be present, but whole. And the more the chosen position themselves this way, the more they feel God's support. They understand they don't need to control everything, nor foresee every step. They just need to obey the inner direction, the one that doesn't make noise, but never deceives. This silent obedience bears fruit. The chosen begin to realize that their energy impacts environments, that their posture transforms more than their words, that their life is now their greatest testimony. Spirituality stops being performance. It becomes coherence. And here is an important truth. In the new earth, living in truth matters more than being admired. You no longer need to prove that you are spiritual. You only need to live in peace with what God is asking of you. Even if no one understands, even if it looks like madness to the world, the chosen one knows. The portal has opened, they have crossed, and now they can no longer go back to what once was. The closure, the silence that confirms the crossing. We have reached the end of this path, but for the chosen ones, this end is only the beginning of a new way of existing. When the portal opens, there is no celebration. There is no public announcement. There are no spiritual fireworks. There is a steady silence that confirms what only the Spirit can comprehend. You have crossed. This silence is different from loneliness. It is peace. It is confirmation. It is the clear sign that the time of running is over. Now is the time to walk with direction. After the crossing, the chosen no longer need to explain. They don't justify their change. They don't try to convince anyone, because they've understood something precious. Truth needs no defense. It stands on its own. In this new time, the chosen one lives with fewer words and more presence. They understand that every choice, every response, and even every silence carries spiritual weight. They do not speak on impulse. They do not react out of neediness. They no longer insist on remaining where there is no longer alignment. The new earth requires this sobriety. It is not a place of escape. It is a place of consciousness. The chosen one understands that challenges will still come, but they are no longer ruled by them, because now there is a foundation. There are roots. There is direction. And that inner stability changes everything. The crossing was not meant to take them to a physical place. It was meant to place them in a spiritual state where everything false loses power and everything true blooms, even in the midst of difficulty. You are not here to please. You are here to live with purpose, and living with purpose requires coherence between faith and action, alignment between words and presence, obedience, even in silence. Reaching the end of this message doesn't mean the journey is over. For the chosen ones, it simply means that consciousness has reached a new point. Everything that has been said so far is not to create anxiety, nor to build unrealistic expectations. It is to bring clarity. Because when clarity arrives, fear loses its grip, and confusion begins to dissolve. The crossing to the fifth dimension doesn't happen suddenly or spectacularly. It is built day by day, in silent choices, in the no's you've learned to say, in the separations that hurt but were necessary. It happens when you decide to live in alignment with what you feel in your spirit, even if that sets you apart from the majority. The chosen ones are not those who know everything, nor those who live without hardship. They are those who have learned to listen to their own soul, who have understood that it's no longer possible to live divided between what they feel and what they do, who have realized that continuing to insist on the old after awakening creates a deep weariness, a weariness that isn't physical, but spiritual. The new earth, this new state of consciousness, doesn't eliminate life's challenges. What changes is the way they're faced. The chosen one no longer reacts as before, no longer gets lost in unnecessary conflicts, no longer lives trying to prove worth or seek validation. They begin to live guided by inner peace, not external pressure. This new time brings simplicity, less noise, less urgency, less need to please. In return, it brings presence, discernment, and a sense of being in the right place, even when the path seems uncertain. Security no longer comes from control, but is born from trust, in God and in the process being lived. It's important to understand. Not everyone around you will understand your transformation. Some will distance themselves. Others will try to pull you back into old versions of yourself. That's part of it. The crossing always involves separation, not out of pride, but out of alignment. Each person moves at the pace they are able to. The chosen ones feel, deep in their hearts, that there is no going back. Not because the past was bad, but because it has fulfilled its purpose. Everything you've lived has brought you here. The pain, the losses, the silences, the new beginnings. Nothing was wasted. Everything worked together to prepare you for this level of consciousness. The fifth dimension begins when you choose to live in truth, when you prefer peace over approval, when you honor your boundaries, when you accept that you don't need to be understood by everyone to be on the right path. That is the true sign of spiritual maturity. Now, I want to hear from you. What within you do you feel needs to be closed so that this new time can fully manifest? It could be a cycle, a behavior, a relationship, or an internal posture. Leave a simple, sincere comment related to this crossing. Your sharing may help other chosen ones who are going through the same process.